Namo Buddhaya, and the Satasahasrika Prajnaparamita Sutram, the large sutra on perfect wisdom, the chapter 44, the congregation. Acceptance of cognition of Dharma in origination, comprising all the holy persons, Subhuti. Deep Lord is the perfection of wisdom. For a great performance, enterprise, has this perfection of wisdom been set up for an enterprise which is unthinkable, incomparable, immeasurable, equal to the unequalled, the Lord. So it is Subhuti, so it is. For entrusted to this perfection of wisdom are the five perfections, entrusted to it are the various kinds of emptiness, and four applications of mindfulness, etc., to the knowledge of all modes. Just as an anointed king, a Kshatriya, who feels strong and secure in his kingdom, entrusts all his business concerning the kingly office and the kingdom of his minister. He himself has few cares, and his burden is light as regard to the business concerning his kingly duties, and his activities concerning the kingdom. Just so, Subhuti, whatever dharmas of the disciples and Pratyekabuddhas and Bodhisattvas, all the Buddhas there may be, they are all entrusted to the perfection of wisdom, and the perfection of wisdom in them does the work. Therefore, then, has the perfection of wisdom been set up for a great performance, for a performance which is unthinkable, incomparable, immeasurable, equal to the unequalled. And why? Because this deep perfection of wisdom has been set up so that one should not take hold of form, etc., to the supreme enlightenment, nor settle down in them. Subhuti. How, O Lord, has this perfection of wisdom been set up so that one should not take hold of form, etc., to supreme enlightenment, nor settle down in them? The Lord. What do you think, Subhuti? Can you review that form, etc., to that knowledge of all modes of that fruit of stream winner, etc., to the supreme enlightenment which could be taken hold of or settle down in? Or do you review the Dharma which one could take hold of or settle down in, or that Dharma whereby one could take hold of or settle down in? Subhuti, no, I learn. The Lord. Well said, Subhuti, well said. I also do not review form, etc., to the supreme enlightenment because I do not review it, I do not take hold of it. Because I do not take hold of it, I do not grasp at it. I also do not review the level of Buddha and all knowledge, the knowledge of all modes, and Tathagatahood. Not reviewing it, I do not take hold of it. Not taking hold of it, I do not settle down in it. And why the Bodhisattva Subhuti should not take hold of form, etc., to Tathagatahood, and he should not settle down in them. Cognition of Dharma in origination, the knowledge of the Absolute, is accessible to the experience of the wise. Because of the realm of sense desire and of form, deep, O Lord, is this perfection of wisdom, hard to see, hard to understand, inaccessible to reasoning and discursive thought, calm, subtle, delicate, to be felt only by the learned and discerning. Those beings who firmly believe in this perfection of wisdom will be such as have fulfilled their duties under the genius of the past. They will have been taken hold of by the good spiritual friends, and they will have planted wholesome roots. Acceptance of the subsequent cognition of origination and commonness. If, O Lord, all beings in this great teacherly cosmos would become faith followers, Dharma followers, people on the eighth lowest stage, stream winners, once returners, never returners, arhats, or Pratyekabuddhas, compared with their cognition and forsaken the cognition of this deep perfection of wisdom, for one single day, the willingness to find pleasure in it, the reflection on it, the waiting up on it, of it, the exploration and investigation of it will be superior. And why? Because the passion acceptance of the Bodhisattva, the great being who has gained the passion acceptance of dharmas which fail to be produced, is superior to the cognition and forsaking of the faith followers, etc., to Pratyekabuddhas. Subsequent cognition of origination, quick understanding, the Lord. So it is so good, so it is. One may expect that those sons and daughters of good family who will listen to this deep perfection of wisdom copy it out explained and repeated and wisely attend to it, will go forth more quickly than those others who belong to the vehicle of the disciples and Pratyekabuddhas, who are lacking in the perfect wisdom and who chorus on the stage of a faith follower, etc., for an eon or for the remainder of an eon. And why? Because in this deep perfection of wisdom, that passion, acceptance of dharmas which fail to be produced, has been explained in detail, and in that the faith followers, etc., the Pratyekabuddhas should train, and that the Bodhisattvas, the great beings, should train. And because they have trained in that perfection of wisdom, the Tathagatas have fully known the supreme enlightenment, will fully know it. Whereupon the gods of the realm of sense desire and the realm of form gave forth this shout of triumph. A great perfection is this perfection of wisdom, Lord, etc. To a perfection which equals the unequalled is the perfection of wisdom. It is because they have trained in this deep perfection of wisdom that the faith followers, etc., to the Pratyekabuddhas have gone forth, do go forth and will go forth, and then the Bodhisattvas, the great beings, have gone forth to the supreme enlightenment, do go forth to it, will go forth to it. Acceptance of cognition of Dharma and stopping, neither decrease nor increase. And of this deep perfection of wisdom, neither deficiency nor completeness can be conceived. Thereupon the gods of the realm of sense desire and of form saluted to Lord's feet, with their heads thrice walked round the Lord, and then moved away from the presence of the Lord. Before they had gone far, they disappeared from sight. And the gods of the realm of sense desire departed from the world of sense desire, and the gods of the realm of form, for the realm of form, cognition of Dharma and stopping intense progress. Subhuti. If a bodhisattva, on merely hearing it, immediately believes in this deep perfection of wisdom, where has he deceased? Where is he reborn? The Lord. Here, Subhuti, a bodhisattva great being, immediately on hearing this deep perfection of wisdom, firmly believes in it, doesn't become coward or stolid, is not stupefied, doesn't hesitate or doubt, but delights in hearing this deep perfection of wisdom, and on hearing this deep perfection of wisdom doesn't become lacking in those attentions and does never let go of those attentions. Wherever he goes, comes, stands, or sits, and he constantly and always follows that reciter of Dharma, just as a cow does not abandon her young calf, just so Subhuti, the bodhisattva who knows this deep perfection of wisdom by heart, who has become thoroughly familiar with it through his mindfulness, who has well investigated it with his mind, who has well penetrated it with his vision, that person belonging to the vehicle of the bodhisattvas has deceased among men, has been reborn among men. And why? Because this son or daughter of good family belonging to the vehicle of the bodhisattvas has in the past also copied this deep perfection of wisdom, made it into a book, honored, revered, adored, and worshipped it with flowers, etc. Through that wholesome root he has deceased among men, been reborn among men, and has firmly believed in this deep perfection of wisdom immediately on hearing it. Acceptance of subsequent cognition of stop and full attainment. Subhuti. Could a bodhisattva, a great being who is endowed with these qualities and who firmly believes in this deep perfection of wisdom immediately on hearing it, who copies it out, explains and understands it, and wisely attends to it, could that bodhisattva have deceased near other Buddhas and lords whom he has honored before he was reborn here? The Lord. So it is, Subhuti, so it is. That is quite possible. And why? Because that bodhisattva, that great being, has in the presence of these Buddhas and lords heard this deep perfection of wisdom, born in it in the mind, preached and studied it, and has wisely attended to it. Through just that wholesome root and thought, just these attentions, he has been reborn here. Moreover, the Bodhisattva, the great being, has been reborn among the Tushita gods, and he should be known as endowed with just these same qualities. And why? Because that Bodhisattva, that great being, has questioned and counter-questions Maitreya, the Bodhisattva, the great being, about this deep perfection of wisdom, and thought that wholesome root, he has been reborn here. Through that wholesome root, he has been reborn here. But if that Bodhisattva, that great being in the past, when he heard this deep perfection of wisdom, has not asked questions or counter-questions about it, then when now this deep perfection of wisdom is being preached, he feels hesitation, stupefaction, and despondency of thought. And so when the other five perfections or the various kinds of emptiness or the supreme enlightenment are being preached, moreover Subhuti, some Bodhisattva great being, has in the past heard this the perfection of wisdom for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, has asked questions and quantum questions about it, and has pursued it for that time, but afterwards he has again withdrawn from it and feels no longer like asking questions about it. And why? For it is a fact that the Bodhisattva has in the past not all the time asked questions and counter questions about this deep perfection of wisdom and pursued it. And if only for a time he has been intent and keen on it, then he will later, at some time, feel the urge to pursue it. But not so at other times. He will again withdraw from it, and through his unsteady intelligence, he will become like cotton wool. That Bodhisattva, the great being, should merely be known as one who has but lately set out in the vehicle, and one who has not been taken hold of by the good spiritual friends, as one who has not honored the fully enlightened Buddhas. He will no further explain this deep perfection of wisdom studied or wisely attend to it. He has not been trained in the perfection of wisdom, or the other five perfections, etc., to the knowledge of all modes. Then Bodhisattva, the great being, should be known as one who has newly set out in the vehicle, endowed with but a little faith and little love. He will no longer be able to copy out this perfection of wisdom or to preach, explain, or study it, or to wisely attend to it. But if a son or daughter of good family doesn't copy out this perfection of wisdom or explains or studies it, or wisely attends to it, and doesn't get hold of the beyond of this deep perfection of wisdom, etc., to the knowledge of all modes, doesn't comply with this deep perfection of wisdom, etc., with knowledge of all modes, then one of two stations of levels should be expected of them: the level of a disciple or Pratyekabuddha. And why? It is because in the past they have not copied, etc., this deep perfection of wisdom, because they have not got hold of the beyond of this deep perfection of wisdom, and have not complied with it. That of these sons or daughters of good family, these two levels should be expected. This is the end of 44th chapter of the Large Sutra on Perfect Wisdom, Satasahasrika Prajnaparamita Sutram.